Hi, my name's Wilx, and this is episode 6 of FTB Continuum. Sorry for the gap in between episodes. I moved. Kept me kind of busy and a few other things going on. So, also, I did a lot with bees while we were off camera. Inconveniently, that took way more time than I thought it was going to. I'm up to Imperial and Industrial. I've got 10 of each doing their thing, so I can get my pollen clusters and my royal jelly. So the way I got there, I showed you before how we use these things. I got the soul frames in there. I would do 10 at a time for each of the different steps. So let's say we'll take a look at Imperial. So for the Imperial, we had to get the Noble and Majestic. The Noble drove me nuts. I went through 40 princesses before I got even close. One thing that's different than this, than the way I did it back in Age of Engineering, because it was very similar what I had to go through for Age of Engineering. I could always count on getting at least one pure drone out of, let's say, 10 or 20 tries. This time I wasn't. So I had to just take ones that had half and half. So they might be half noble, half imperial. And put those in. So both for the princess and the drone, and hope for the best. And that's how I had to work my way up. It was a bit of a pain. It was a little more difficult. But it was a little bit easier because I had done the Esquitar. I also tried to do it for the minor bee, and I didn't take a look. You have to put a block of iron under it to get the minor bee. And so I went through like 30, 40 combines and never got a minor. Then I decided, when I did figure out what was wrong, I decided, no, I'm going to wait and do it with when I've got gendistry. And I'll do it that way. It's much easier. And I'm almost there anyways because I've now got the Imperial and the Industrious done. But part of what we need to do gendistry is we need raw DNA. And I started setting it up in a test world. And I really didn't like using the lasers. It looked really messy after I was through. So I was kind of upset about that and decided, no, I deliberately want to do it with some flat transfer nodes. It would be a lot neater, and I'm not that far away. So our goal for today is to get here onto the flat transfer nodes. And this thing dropped. Oh, off camera, I placed down a dispenser with one of these things on top, a timer on top. I've set the timer to the maximum, see 12,000 maximum, and it just dropped a piece of wood. Now that might have been because I just messed around with it, just changed it or something. So I'm trying to get my timing down so that it does it correctly. But basically it places down the block of wood, and then the tree fluid extractor sticks it into this tank over here. I'm probably going to be moving these tanks around a little bit. I did make a little doorway here for other stuff. It's dark out, let's sleep. And then we'll get on to going through some quests. All right, so one of the things we're going to need is an engineer's workbench. So that's just treated wood planks, treated wood fence, and a crafting table. There's a number of different engineering blueprints. For instance, this one here will get me things like my iron mechanical component, steel mechanical component, vacuum tubes. I actually don't need that today, but I'll make it anyways. But that's iron, aluminum, and copper up top. This, on the other hand, uses a steel plate, and that's going to get us our wire, which is what we do need for today. So now that we've got that, we'll come down here, and we'll set up our table like that. And we'll take the one with wire, and we'll click it in there. See, wire, and then we need steel, a bunch of steel plates actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we need these things. The way we do it is we put, is it like that? Yes. Okay. And so then you just pick up whichever one of these plates that you want, which in this case I want wire. And then this, we click on here and it changes over to that plate. And we're going to make some copper wire. So put the copper wire in the hopper. It places it over here. It stamps it. It uses 2 copper at a time, I think. Oh, maybe 1 copper at a time makes 2 of those. Yeah, other way around. So I probably didn't need a whole stack. I could have probably done it with 32. We'll do it with 32 instead. All right, so that's doing its thing. Oh, we're not doing that today. That's going to be for next episode. All right, so for steam boiler, we need the blazing electron tube, which is in the thermionic fabricator, just blaze in some redstone, bronze ingots, and blocks of coal. That's our boiler. Now, we want steam engines. You can use a maximum of 4, so I'm going to use 4. Bronze gears, empowered dynamitite. Dynamitite? I should figure out how to pronounce that. Which is done like this. I did it with a block. It's got those 4. Let's check our quests here. And then back. Whoops, quests. Notice we're getting a magnum block here. All right, so we're going to come over here. And we're going to place down our magnum block. We're using that as a heat source. And we'll put down our boiler on top of the heat source. And then our steam engines. Like that. They basically going in the floor. There's going to be tanks running along the top of that there. I'm probably going to move this around a little bit for next episode. We'll see. All right. Not this. And I did, yeah, I could have made my own magma thing, and then I noticed I got one from the quest and didn't bother. All right. Oh, so now that that's set up, let's make a few things. We're going to need some diamonds. Okay, so one of these we're going to take diamond nuggets, place them in there, and this will give us raw hardener, and I'll get into why I need that later on. For this one, we're going to stick in that to get refined iron. Oh, and I tried turning down the sound on this thing. I don't know if I turned it down far enough. It's really friggin' loud. No, I changed it in the configs, but it doesn't seem to be affecting the sound. Maybe I changed the wrong thing in the configs. So, options. I'm just going to turn down everything. That's too loud, still. Because I turned it way down in the configs. All right, and the other thing I'm going to want is sand. Where's my sand? And that will give us silicone. And you're finished. Actually, we're going to do another set of iron. So that's 2 stacks of iron iridium. So this is done. Covered copper cable. insulated copper cable, not covered. That's why it didn't show up. So we need our copper wire, stick that in there, and that gives us our insulated copper cable. Okay. And it needed the latex, which we've already got. Oh, figures, and these things are all busy. And you, I didn't press shift. And you, I didn't press shift. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm taking you out of there for now. Can you fit in there? Not quite. Close enough. All right. Yeah, you've got to press shift when you do these if you want them to continue doing it. Okay, so insulated copper cable. I need some of it to finish up the quest. Now on to electronic circuits. Electronic. Why do I not see? There it is. So we're going to need refined iron plates. And we've got the rest of that stuff. So refined iron plates. So we're going to need to switch back to our plate mold. And let's do 32. How many plates did we need for what we're doing right now? Actually, we needed 32. That's right. So that's going to be a minute. Because we're also going to need some blocks. I need more than that though. There we go. We need a total of 4 blocks or 3 blocks? I forget. We're almost done on those. Come over here. And get some of this stuff out of our way. We're going to use that, and that, and that, and that, and that. I think that's how it works. So yeah, the hoppers are just pointing into all of these, and there's a hopper underneath there pointing into this. Now we're getting our electronic circuits that way. All right. So quest, that's complete. Now we're on to our compressor. And we're going to need 3 of those. So if we're going to want 3 of these, I think. I don't remember. Our compressor is going to be yeah, so we need 3 for that. So we actually need 1 more of those. We'll wait for it since we're here. There we go. Because we're going to need 1 for the rolling mill. All right, so which is in the center and which is on the bottom? I forget. Other way around, of course. There we go. So 3 compressors. Oh, and for let's get our this done. Claim back rolling machine. For this we need advanced electronic circuits, which involves reinforced metal. And reinforced metal involves this stuff, which involves these things, which, remember the raw hardener that I made? Did I leave it on here? Oh, no, there. It's there. Okay. So we'll put that there, that there. And what else did we need for this? That's it. I should have had that cooking sooner. Sorry about that. And then, well, while we're waiting, we can take one of our compressors. We can place it over here. The other 2 are going to be used to make the rolling machine. There's 1, 2 sets of them. Okay. And then for these, we need to take 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That gives us our hardened mesh. And that goes there with a row of those, and I need some more iron. So we've got 10 of those, and again, we've got to split those up there and there. At least they don't take too long to cook. And so it goes like that, right? And that thing goes in the center. Oh no, 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 no. We come over here and let's make room for it. Where was it? Where are those things? They're there. That goes there. And yeah, that's working. One of them. We need two of them for right now. And two of them. Oops, not those. These things. And that gives us our rolling machine. That should have given us, yeah, it did. And that gets us on to transfer nodes. So for transfer nodes, we are going to need to make transfer pipe. To make transfer pipe, if I remember it correctly without looking it up, we put those and those there. We put redstone like that. And what am I missing? I think it's an electronic circuit or something goes in the center. No, it's silicone. That's what it was. Yep. So we're going to do this twice because we need both. We need 4 for the item transfer node and 4 for the liquid transfer node. We need to do both of them. All right. I totally forget what goes in the center. Yep, that's what was in the center. So we've got ourselves one of these, one of those. And because you see it needs the fluid there. And then, not part of the quest, but what I want is I want to take my item 1, put it there with an anvil, and I get 8 flat transfer nodes and 8 liquid transfer nodes. And we're going to use those when we do our setup for our bees, for our DNA, raw DNA. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. This stuff here. So you get that from a gene pool. You have to have enzyme, an ethanol, and a drone or a tree or something. Pollen. Variety of different things can go in there. So to get enzymes, you need to take sugar and bacteria. Get bacteria, you need to take growth medium and wheat to get bacteria. To get growth medium, you need to take, in an incubator, water and this growth medium to get that, the liquid one, and that's sugar and bone meal. So as you can see, it's a little bit involved getting up to DNA. And that's why, and ethanol, you have to use a still with, no, not that still, this still. This still with biomass gets you ethanol. Biomass you get through a fermenter with some sort of crop, fertilizer, and honey. No, it doesn't have to be honey. It can be water. Gives you different amounts of it, but water's fine. And to get, yeah, that's basically the only step for that one. So, a fair bit involved. You can see why if I was trying to do it with lasers, that I have lasers running all over the place, but it's much neater to set it up with with those flat transfer nodes. So just to finish this off, did I have more of those? Whoops. Yeah, I got one more. Let's open some of these up. Tin, useful. Yeah. Copper. Iron. Well, mildly useful stuff, but nothing special. I don't think you'd actually get anything special out of these, but at least it's kind of useful. But that's pretty much it. Let me know if you need me to go over more detail on how I got to the Bs. Well, let's give a little bit more, because I went through that a little bit quickly. So for the Imperial, we had to get to Noble and Majestic. To get to Majestic, it's Noble and a Cultivated. And I think I was up to Cultivated in the other episode, so you know how I got there. And Noble is Common and Cultivated. And so I went through each of those steps, breeding them up each of the way. And for each of them, I had these things, where I'd done it through the now I can't remember how to pronounce it. Esquitar. And got on myself the Industrious and the Imperial. Oh, Industrious. Unweary and Diligent. Unweary is Diligent and Cultivated. Diligent is Common and Cultivated. And we went through all that, got that set up. So now the reason we need all of this is, let's say we want to do something in Gendistry. And we wanted to make something like a mutatron. Better yet, an advanced mutatron. Where's my advanced mutatron? So to make this thing, I'm going to need things like this power module over here. Power module needs scented gears in an EFAB with raw DNA and honey. To get the scented gears involves pollen and royal jelly in a carpenter with honey. So that's why we were working to these things, so that we could then make our Gendistry stuff. Like we're going to need a mutagen producer as well. Takes another couple power modules. The rest of this stuff's easy to make. Sturdy casing is just like bronze. So things like B receptacles, power modules, they're used in pretty much everything that we do for Gendistry. What's the other thing that I want? DNA and no, that's different. What is... Oh, there's pages and pages of these things. Where's the sampler? Oh, there. Genetic sampler. So we're going to want this thing, and is it the transposer? Yeah, I guess it's the transposer. So we'll get into more of that later in other episodes when I actually show you what I'm doing with it. But it makes bee breeding way easier with Advanced Mutatron. You just stick the bees in, and you get you select what you want, and boom, out it comes. But you need all of that stuff set up for the raw DNA and the honey and all the rest of that, which is far more complicated than it is in most packs. Like if you look at my Direwolf pack, it was really easy to set that stuff up. This, it's much more of a challenge. But I guess that's it for this episode. I hope you got something worthwhile out of it. Go out there and have some fun. Thanks.